Good morning and welcome to Morning Movie News. We're on the eve of Blockbuster November, where not only blockbuster films are hitting theaters, but trailers for future blockbuster films will be attached to those films. So we're essentially doubling down in blockbusterness. Now, while Ender's Game kicks things off here in the United States, Thor: The Dark World, which comes out here the second weekend of November, will be opening in a number of countries October 30th, October 31st. So the trailers that are going to be attached to those are going to come out earlier here than Thor itself. Now, the big two that are rumored to be attached are X-Men: Days of Future Past and Captain America 2: The Winter Soldier. Or I guess it's technically just Captain America: The Winter Soldier. When they add titles to these movies, it's crazy because some audiences like to just think of them with the numbers, and some people are very strict with the full name of the movie. In particular for Hunger Games, you guys are always like, it's not Hunger Games 2, and I'm like, to many people it is. I'm sorry. So you basically have Thor 2 and Captain America 2 with their fancy titles. So anyway. Very exciting for both trailers. The rumor is they're both over 2 minutes long, so we're going to get to see a lot of stuff. But there's some kind of teaser trailer. I don't know if this is the 2-minute version for Captain America 2 being released on Thursday. But, however, yesterday they released the poster. Very nice poster. Captain America is my least favorite movie so far to date from the Marvel films, the Marvel Studio films. But that said, I'm very excited with what they seem to be doing for Captain America 2. As I've said, it kind of has like maybe a 1970s political thriller vibe to it. Just something like Robert Redford would have made back in the day, and what do you know? Robert Redford is in this film. But I was surprised about the poster, and I've put the poster up here. I usually don't include pictures, but this is just such an easy one. The poster for Captain America 2, what surprises me about it is A, there's no Winter Soldier in it. Even though he's supposed to be the title. And second, the heavy influence of S.H.I.E.L.D. on the poster. He's standing, on a platform, I forget what the name of that's called, they open the back door of a plane, and it's always a cool shot when the military jumps out of there, has a parachute or something, or the squirrel wings. But there's a big S.H.I.E.L.D. symbol underneath him, and of course, in the distance, he's standing in front of the helicarrier. He's like, do we have to always show off? Why can't we just land on the helicarrier? But anyway, I like the idea of Captain America being very big in S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it's a good home for him. However, when I start to think about it, I'm like, why would you then make a S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show if that's what the Captain America movies are going to be? So essentially, you have a S.H.I.E.L.D. television show and a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie series. Because obviously in the S.H.I.E.L.D., in the Captain America 2, Black Widow is a huge part. Now, of course, that she factors very heavily into the Winter Soldier story as well. But Sam Jackson's there, and obviously his base of operations is going to be the helicarrier because he has no outside life. He was stuck in an ice block. Unlike Thor, who goes home to Asgard and flirts with Jane Foster, and then Tony Stark has, Pepper Potts in his company. Captain America is just like, hey, Sam Jackson, you want to play cards? Coulson would love to play cards with you. I wonder if, because Coulson is, I don't know what's going on. My theory is he's a robot, by the way. But, so I don't know if he'll come in here at all. But it's just weird to me to have S.H.I.E.L.D. existing in two places. But that said, I do like the poster. That's my only twinge that I'm like, too much S.H.I.E.L.D. And I wish S.H.I.E.L.D. was just staying in the movie. But I like the poster. I kind of still don't like Captain America's costume. I wish they would update it. I've heard rumors they are going to update it. We've seen some of the set photos. Bucky can't have, the Winter Soldier can't have a cooler costume than you, guy. You gotta step up your game. So anyway, look for that trailer on Thursday. My trailer review won't go up until Friday though, because I have a personal obligation, so I will be out of the office. Damn it! The one time I'm not in the office, they release the trailer for Captain America 2. But anyway, I'm excited to see it. So the second story of the day is, again, Jurassic Park. Now, earlier in the week, I was talking about how Josh Brolin was going to be cast. They were thinking of casting him. But another rumor popped up almost immediately, and they were like, well, this guy's pretty much already cast. Forget being in talks, and that is Idris Elba. I would be so thrilled with that. Just forget Josh Brolin. Get him out of here. I think Idris Elba is a great, great actor. I watched some episodes of Luther recently when I was like, I had nothing to watch and I was playing around on my on-demand on my cable. And I was like, I'll try it. Everyone says it's really good. And he was great. And people say he could be James Bond. I second that. I think Idris Elba could pull off James Bond quite well. And I think he could be in a lot of franchises. I feel bad that he is Heimdall in Thor. Speaking of, Thor: The Dark World, I feel that that's kind of a throwaway role. And Spill.com had one of my favorite jokes about the first Thor, and that Idris Elba was essentially playing Asgard's doorman. And I thought that was a great joke, and I think, Marvel should have been a little bit more careful and sensitive to that portrayal. I think he seems like he has more to do here from the trailer, or at least he's sitting at a table. They show him going into Asgard and being part of the group. But still, waste of Idris Elba. I want him to have his own franchise. So I would be very excited for him to be in Jurassic World. I hope it's good, or, he's going to have horrible luck. But just to get him for studio executives to think of him in that way would be wonderful. And obviously it's going to be hard for him to get a comic book franchise of his own. I think he'd be a good Black Panther, but how can you do that when he's already Heimdall? He's kind of knocked himself. I agree with everybody that he'd be a great Jon Stewart over in the DC universe. Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, but he's kind of put himself in a corner playing Heimdall in the Thor movies. So I think that going into another non-comic book franchise is a great idea. Who cares what it is? And I think Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World as they're calling it, Jurassic Park 4, Jurassic World, would be great. I'm just rooting for Idris Elba. I think he's fantastic. He was really the only things I liked in Pacific Rim, besides the 3D and special effects, but he was really good. I think he did a really nice job. He's just a professional actor, which is so rare these days. So I'm very excited for that. I hope that turns out to be true. Now, the third story is that I got a great press release yesterday from Alamo Drafthouse. And Alamo Drafthouse is a wonderful set of theaters based in Texas. Obviously, Austin is the home base. And they're the ones that run those great ads that they don't want you texting or talking during a movie theater, and they'll throw you out. They actually will throw you out, which I'm like, where? I want to go here so badly. And they have that great YouTube ad where someone called up and complained that they were kicked out, and they animated to it or put the words up, and they were like, please don't come back. We don't want your business anymore. And they also, when Madonna was texting during 12 Years a Slave at the New York Film Festival, they came out and said she's banned from our theaters until she apologizes, just out of solidarity to their fellow moviegoers. And I thought that was great too. Really wonderful theater. They were going to open one up here in New York City. They're opening one is already open in Yonkers. One's opening in Brooklyn, I think, maybe next year. And they were going to open an Upper West Side one near Columbia University, but the funding didn't work out, or the financing. So I'm bummed. But anyway, they have a lot of special screenings. They show a lot of old films, which I think is fantastic. But one series they're having that's coming up, they issued the press release for, is with working with Amy Poehler's Smart Girls. And that's kind of Amy Poehler's youth group to encourage young women to go out and do things, which I think is wonderful. Because I was watching a Dove commercial on TV, and they said there was a study that said, like I think 6 out of 10 girls stop doing what they love because they're self-conscious about the way they look. And I thought that was an appalling statistic. I thought that was horrible. So I think it's wonderful. And Dove says, well, if you buy our product, we'll help make those 6 girls feel better. And I was like, Dove, your products are horrible. I wish I could just donate to the charity. But Amy Poehler works very hard. She has a YouTube channel here as well. You should check it out. I'll put a link below in the video description. Amy Poehler works very hard to encourage girls to go out there and be smart girls and to explore the world. But anyway, she's teaming up with Alamo Drafthouse to do a special screening of To Kill a Mockingbird, because they are like, Scout is definitely a smart girl, and we just think it's wonderful to put a spotlight on that. And they're showing some screenings, and they're inviting everybody, not just girls. Everyone can come and enjoy the film, and Amy Poehler is going to have like an introduction that she puts in front of it. I think that's wonderful. So I also wanted to ask you guys today, what's your favorite girl power movie? There aren't a lot, and you really have to think about it, but I think you can come up with some good ones. I'll be interested to see what everybody puts in the comments down below. Mine is A League of Their Own. Really good movie. I was on a plane recently going to, I think it was either Phoenix or Calgary Comic-Con, and I watched that. They had it on. They were playing it. It was one of the choices, and it really held up really well. It's a great film with Gina Davis and Rosie O'Donnell, Tom Hanks, Madonna even, Lori Petty. Really good movie, a lot of fun, and it's a great sports movie just in general. If you like sports movies, I think you'll like it. So if you've never seen A League of Their Own, I highly recommend you check it out. And if you're in the Texas area, in the Austin area, go check out To Kill a Mockingbird with Amy Poehler. I don't know if she'll be there personally, but I think it would be a fun afternoon. And right below your favorite girl power movies. And also, the best girl power movies are the ones that don't go girl power, it's just subtle. All right, so question. Speaking of girls doing things, today's question is from Olivia McNeil. And Olivia says, question, thank you. The question thing, by the way, works so well. It makes me so much easier for me to find your questions. It says, I'm writing a novel, and I wonder, is money for the rights to turn your book into a movie necessary? And if so, where does it go to? I'm just curious. I know not all books can be made into a movie. Well, Hollywood would differ with you there, Olivia. I think they feel there's not a book they can't turn into a movie out there. But I think you seem to have it backwards. You are not responsible for coming up with the money for film rights. That's money that will be given to you and whoever your publisher is, if you have a publisher, for the rights to make your movie into a film or a TV show or some kind of adaptation. So this isn't like, and also, I can see where your question's coming from. It's not like a film where they often sell the foreign rights, by the way, the foreign distribution rights to raise money. That means, they don't necessarily have a U.S. distributor yet, but they go and they sell the distribution rights in other countries to raise the money to make the film. And then they go and get a nice payday from a U.S. distributor as well to, make a profit and stuff, and, stuff like that. But when it comes to a book, your only concern, Olivia, should be getting it published. And you can either get it published through an old-fashioned print publisher, or there's lots of digital publishing houses these days. And of course, Amazon has a very successful self-publishing tool, which has done quite well and created quite a number of, not only best-selling books, but superstar writers already. So I would look into that. And so don't worry about the film rights. Just make sure you don't just give them away or sell them away for a very low, price. Don't get cheated out of them. But if you don't want your film rights sewn up when your book is published. Sometimes they come in, they buy the rights. A movie studio will buy the rights before the movie comes out. Before your book is published. From your publisher. That's a great deal because they just swoop in there. And also, publishing houses are very aware of this relationship with Hollywood, and for instance, they will send out manuscripts of books they're about to publish to all the big producers and see if anyone's interested in snapping it up, because that's also a great headline for sales for the book. They go, the rights have already been sold. Read it now before it's a movie. That always works the opposite for me. I'm like, I'll just wait till it's a movie if it's going to be a movie. So anyway, I think that, Olivia, good luck with your book. Just focus on getting a publisher, either self-publishing or a publisher, and then I hope that someday you do get a nice check for the film rights for your novel. All right, so that's today's morning movie news. Write down below what you think of today's top stories, the viewer question, and anything you'd like to see covered tomorrow, or any questions you might have. Thanks for watching. Bye.